How's it going, guys? So, the second half of the Premier League season now well underway, and as you can see, Man City have just taken a 10-point lead at the top of the table. They had a double game week this week. It was a double game week for them and not many others, but they made the most of it. They were playing against Tottenham and Everton, two very tough games on paper, and they beat them both, and they beat them both comfortably. I mean, Tottenham, yes, they've not been in great form lately, but I actually low-key expected them to come up with something in this game. I thought Jose Mourinho would have something under his sleeve. Absolutely not the case. City pretty much rolled them over. It was the Ilkay Gundogan show for that one. And then against Everton, I mean, City rolling over Everton in previous seasons, maybe not the biggest surprise, but it kind of is this season because it's been a different Everton. Everton have been one of the stars of the Premier League show. Man City still beat them comfortably though. I mean, it wasn't that Everton made it comfortable for them. Everton actually put a lot into this game. They left their hearts out in the field. You know, Richarlison really led by example, trying to close down, put pressure on, but at the end of the day, Man City just had too much for them, and it was just little things that ended up costing them, like Michael Keane getting sold by a dummy by Bernardo Silva. You know, it's not a major error, but it still led to a goal, and it was those fine margins that gave City the win in this one and let them continue this rampant form that they've been in. The big question is, can Manchester City be caught? And if you look at the teams below them, the answer is pretty much just a straight no. I mean, Man United are closest to them, and they're only where they are because they've managed to grind results out of poor performances. But even then, they've been caught out for these poor performances on numerous occasions. They're not going to catch them. Leicester, I mean, they've been having one of those spectacular Leicester seasons. I mean, you can't even be surprised by Leicester anymore. But still, as good as the season that as they're having, when Leicester have done really well, you know, at the time they won the league, it was because they capitalised on everyone else having a terrible season. That's not the case at Manchester City in this one, so no, Leicester won't catch them. Chelsea, absolutely the epitome of inconsistent this season. They went on a 17-game unbeaten run just to go and lose something like 5 out of 7 games and get Lampard sacked. Yes, under Tuchel, it's, you know, steadied the ship a bit, but I still haven't seen a spectacular performance from Chelsea so far under Tuchel, and I think we'll get to know a little bit more about them when they start meeting sterner tests, but for now, no, they're not going to catch Man City. West Ham are there, and absolutely no disrespect to West Ham. They're having a fantastic season, but I'm just going to make it simple and say no, West Ham are not going to catch them. And that pretty much just leaves Liverpool. And if Liverpool decide to pick it up and maybe stop having a bit of bad luck with injuries, yes, they probably do still have the best chance of catching them, but those are all ifs. And, you know, Liverpool really haven't shown this season that they're up for challenging for the title. And so I'm just going to have to say, no, not Liverpool either. And yeah, it's pretty much Manchester City's to just run away with at this point. At the other end of the table, Fulham managed to come away with a very impressive 4 points away to both Everton and Burnley in what was their double game week. And it's put them in a better position than they were in, is what I'll say. I mean, they've pulled a few points clear of West Brom. I think Fulham are now on 19, West Brom are on 13, so breathing room there, but they're still in the relegation zone, and I'm pretty sure Newcastle are the next closest to them with about 26 points, so still a big difference between 26 and 19. But they're staying in the fight, you know, they're doing what they can. They are picking up a lot of draws, in fairness to them, and all it takes is to start turning a couple of those draws into wins, and they could be in a much better position. I mean, if they just keep picking up points where they can, and Newcastle or Brighton keep dropping points, then who knows, in 4 or 5 weeks' time, we could possibly be talking about a Fulham that's out of the relegation zone. Speaking of West Brom, though, they did manage to take 2 points off Man United this week, and that now adds Man United to the list of Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool of teams that West Brom have managed to get a draw against. And that's ridiculous when you think about it and compare it to the amount of points they have in total. I mean, they've got 13 points and 4 of those were against those big 6 teams. I mean, that's over a quarter of their points, and it really does just baffle me, to be honest, that they haven't managed to pick up points against the teams around them when they're putting in these really solid performances against the teams well up in the top half of the table. That being said, even if they are going to go back down to the Championship, they'll get to take their proud giant slayer, kinda, since they're only getting draws, tagline with them, but I still think they'll be going down. to wrap up, I'll talk about that big Leicester comeback against a calamitous Liverpool side. Liverpool took the lead 1-0 in the second half. I think it was around the 65th minute through Mo Salah, and it was actually a lovely goal, a lovely bit of play involving Firmino and a back heel. But after that, Liverpool have been controlling the game to this point as best as they could against a team like Leicester. And, all they needed to do was exactly what they were doing after that goal, and they probably would have just killed the game off, won at 1-0. But instead, they let Leicester back into the game. It was a ridiculous decision from Thiago to make a tackle on Harvey Barnes, I think it was, on the edge of the box. It was initially given as a penalty. That was overruled by VAR, given a free kick on the edge of the box. James Maddison scores directly from the free kick, and that's ruled offside, but then overruled by VAR because Firmino's toe was playing somebody on, I think it was Amarte, in the build-up. Amarte was judged to have been impeding the goalkeeper, but that toe meant that he was now onside. And that was the start of the absolute collapse from Liverpool, because that goal went in, and within 7 minutes they'd gone from 1-0 up to 3-1 down. And Leicester weren't going to go and make the same mistakes Liverpool did. They killed the game off. They went and cemented themselves comfortably above Liverpool in the table now. They're still sitting in third behind Man United, but they've really stuck a claim in to keep that top 4 spot. Anyway, lads, that's it for this one. This is kind of done as a substitute to my usual Premier League Game Week review videos. I kind of just wanted to see how the change in style and format would go. So, I'd really appreciate it if you could let me know in the comments what you made of it. Like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more footy chats, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.